What do you know what number it is?
Like 9 and 10.
So, as always, welcome to Dev
sort of-
Night 9 or 10.
It's sort of
Can you repeat that?
No, I'm not going to.
You're right.
because if we
Sublevels.png, does that make sense?
Yeah.
The sublevels. I was running from
arguably the best change ever made in this project.
And how many hours did we lose today
They
because
killed
of
the
it?
repo.
Yeah. You just had to be nosy, didn't you?
I haven't
it's
got the
mostly-
latest build because we've just been trying to troubleshoot the fact that we've gone over 2 gigs.
And do you reckon I'm caring about your problem?
Yeah.
No one can
Maxine.
commit. We've got some serious commitment issues.
Nice one. That should be the title of our next blog. Commitment issue.
Although,
He's eating pizza.
Are we starting over there or are we starting?
Alright, start over here.
Everyone's eating pizza. I feel like I should still be eating pizza.
We can.
I'm trying to look professional. And then you're. You got a bit of cheese. Wow.
I think I saw his ear.
We
Do you want me
gave
to quickly, like, on
we gave
film-
Max crap about his ears.
Thank you.
So on film, I'll pull it down so we can like slow-mo it and like prove that he has ears.
Exposed. Alright.
Well, I'm telling you, I've seen him. I've seen the ears. He doesn't always wear the hoodie.
I should always use the word hoodie.
Are you gonna stand over here, or am I gonna be the only person?
Put down. Put it deep.
Well, if this is Maxine's baby, the storyboards. Come on.
I want to eat.
You like? Let me eat. You like?
Alright, please don't swear on Instagram Live.
Just all banned.
So what are we doing? What's the plan here? So
Storyboard.
we started last week by laying out the storyboard and figuring out what we're gonna do in the trailer. Which I think we started by going through the monologue and sort of using the monologue as the I guess the outline for what the trailer was gonna be, and then
That and the sound effects too. Like
and then figuring out the storyboard
the soundtrack.
from the monologue and all the sound effects. Doing that, we figured how many shots we needed, vaguely what the shots are, and then I went into Unreal and vaguely tried to roughly figure out how long each of the shots would actually be with that monologue we have. And anything to say that? I think that's everything, right?
Yeah, not really. We kind of just did like a
Do we wanna-
breakdown and a rough emphasis on rough sketch of like what will be in frame as well. Like, and sound effects actually. Sound effects are really important because we decided that we wanted to like build up to a certain point with the soundtrack and all of the noise, which was important. So we kind of had to work out like how we could start making noises, like with the generator and like smashing glasses and stuff. That's pretty much all I can think of. That's about it.
Yeah.
Woo!
Storyboard.
Alright, we'll move on.
Do you want to play the trailer? What we got right now?
Might as well start off with like, you know, the worst thing we've got so far. Arguably the most important thing we've got. Play it.
That's how it works.
It's got no music.
Gonna need a bit of sound there.
Oh god damn. Wrong speaker.
Start it again.
Yeah.
Oh.
Take 2.
That'll do. This will be loud enough.
Is it just playing from my speakers?
Yeah, probably.
This was the day. This was the day.
Playing that one too.
The catalyst for all that would happen to me. Question everything I thought I knew. My convictions. My only friends left on this rock. Any normal man would have sold out. Compromised his morality, judgment, integrity. Taken up the bottle. Started acting irrationally. Any normal man. I'd done them all in quick succession long before. My dramatic spiral of self-pity headed to rock bottom. What kind of man does that make me? it's a rhetorical question. None of that really matters now. None of this does. Not anymore. But to make sense of it all, to be able to explain this in any sane terms, I'd have to go further back. My name is John Renton. I'm the chief scientific advisor to the president. And I have something important to tell you.
So obviously you can tell it crashed just before we were able to put in
So
the new
I
character.
can go forward again.
Is that the old face?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the old.
Yeah.
Because we can't sort of bring it together right now.
Cool. Yeah.
So
You had commitment issues.
quickly, one of the things I want to go through. So we need to do something about the generators that are
Yeah.
lining up as we go
And
down.
then the lights turning on, yeah?
Yeah. So the lighting for this thing is still, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Here I want the light to it'll be pitch black, and the light at the end of the tunnel will light up towards us, and then we'll go into the tunnel. I need to figure out through the movement to get him to like not just go
Just to
through
make
him.
it, make it fluid, not just like going through his body.
Else happy with that. This
It's a lot darker on that screen.
this is
Don't want to.
It's really good, yeah. But I feel like we need like a lot of stuff either side, and the tiling of the wall.
so I
is
sort
kind
of also want the so glowworms actually look like
yeah, the stringy thing.
yeah, stringy things hanging out from the ceiling. I think would be really cool.
Could we even consider hex rocks along this wall here
Mm.
to add a
Yeah.
bit of feature and maybe some small rocks? Sorry, Derek.
Yeah, my hex
Mm.
works.
Yeah, this would be a perfect spot to have like hex rocks there.
So definitely a lot better when you can actually see it
Yeah,
on the screen.
and it seems to like this is not red, and over there.
Really red. It's
Yeah.
just the screen. Ignore it. But
So,
you know, we'll have
and
to do a bunch
then-
of tests.
So the beaker is done.
Yeah.
So we'll probably have a beaker there like falling off.
The flare definitely won't be there.
It needs to be fixed.
Oh, the flare is like the Carlos thing, so that also needs to get rid of
Yeah.
and light that scene properly too.
Would there be a bit of camera movement right here? Like maybe it's sliding
It's sort of
slightly.
maybe we need like a bigger table or something because I sort of have I don't have much room to move
the original-
around.
I think once
The
you have the
original
big
implication was he was going to walk as well, like walk past it
Yeah,
as
he
well.
was
so there'd be
walking
more, there's
past
a little
it
more
and-
going on in frame too.
Yeah.
So why is
So
it
you
over
can
here
have
rather than
figure
over
out.
there?
Yeah, because he hasn't put him in the right spot for the
So
video.
looking, because I sort of like having that structure in, as opposed to just staying at the wall if we're from the other side.
Having the beaker move might be enough movement, and you could have like do your shadow thing in this scene, like have the shadow move.
It
on
definitely looks
screen.
like John's just lurking over there too. It's just because
Like
he
this
hasn't
is sort of
changed it.
I mean,
Is that maybe the wrong table?
maybe-
The other table's where you'd
yeah,
actually be
there's
walking.
no one. But then the lighting is still a work in progress. So
Yeah.
like
So
right
this is
now.
all just kind of conceptual right now.
Because I sort of want to be able to build the level, but to do that I need to. It affects everything else, and so I sort of need everyone to be in the same version for it.
In the next sprint, we can kind of prioritize this kind of work and allow people to work outside of Unreal at certain points to get
So we've like a big breakthrough we've had is discovering sub-levels and being able to separate the level into smaller chunks that people can work
this
on.
done. Yeah, that's
at
the
the
problem
same
we're having
time.
this whole time.
Yeah,
Breakthrough.
so I've got
That
a
allows us to
screenshot
do
of
baked
that.
lighting. That explains it.
So yeah, so here I actually have
Why?
all my lighting is its own layer, so I can work on it independently from Josh fixing the hex rocks and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Because then I can save that sub level and commit the sub level instead of committing the whole level.
Breakthrough.
This was a breakthrough, and then it was like broke.
So it's
broke eventually.
Is it because the repo got full?
I think
Yeah.
yeah, we just got to more than 2
Yeah.
gigs. We do have to like this. I think is sort of temporary because we still don't really know what's the best way to split up the level. But I think as we figure it out,
Well, right now, all that matters is we get the trailer out in time, so
Mm.
it doesn't have to be perfect.
because so this is also for DCO levels where we want several lighting. This is how we're gonna be able to do it.
Yeah.
Is essentially there'll be 2 different like sub levels for each lighting, and it's just a question of loading which one you want depending on
And it's
parameters.
because we're visiting this place at 3 different timelines.
Mm.
One before any
So
time
I've
skip
got
if they're
like
all
the
lighting.
Cape Carlos here.
So that's perfect. We can actually do this.
So,
That's going to change everything.
Yeah, so that gets rid of the.
It really
Yeah.
is. I mean, a lot of our scenes are reused at multiple points in time.
Mm.
That's
It's the only
exactly
way
what
we're
we
going to
need.
get the game done in a year.
Yeah.
Is reuse. 80% reuse.
So yeah, so then actually, a little quite a bit.
Oh,
You can actually visualize in what group things are like this.
That explains the
Yeah,
color.
so this is why I had the crazy stuff going on.
That's
this is
cool.
why he made himself
Yeah.
sick staring at this.
And I was like, oh, what's going on? What am I looking at? What else? I think I went on a tangent and lost my train of thought.
Okay, Dave.
Oh, we were going through this. Right. I'm not too happy with this shot. I don't like this.
I think if you slow it down,
Just have the elevator be slower. I just don't like
because it gives
him
that
being
cinematic
there.
effect.
Well, yeah, like we don't have to necessarily show him there too. Like it's all there's a lot of like implication going on in this
Yeah,
trailer. It's like implying he's going to leave. Like, you don't have to show him because the plan is to reveal him the last possible second. Like, because what you
Maybe
can't
just
see because the
having a
hallway's
bit of-
lit is
And I don't
you
like
won't
it
see
that's
John
so
at
close
all,
to
and the
the
camera goes
flames.
past him as he's being lit from the front. So it's more of his silhouette the whole time.
Yeah.
To be honest, you can do
It only mattered when we wanted to do
a
the
environment
VR
shot of the
Yeah.
whole elevator
Just
coming down.
made no sense.
Like a
And
bigger
instead we
shot.
just made Scott.
And so
sick.
this is
Thank
also.
Yeah,
So-
don't shake the lighthouse.
yeah.
So that's the old John.
Yeah.
I'm keen to see the new John.
Yeah. So also, we were planning to just have a close up of him, and then I found that just having that little bit of movement like is so much cooler than nothing. And so I'm considering maybe even that could be him in the elevator and we're zooming out, and then the doors are closing too at the end of that
Yeah, but we don't
of
need
That'd be
his
cool.
monologue.
Whatever
wanna-
we do, that time we don't have to animate him.
I want
also-
to avoid too much perfectly linear camera motion though. So when we get close to a final product, I want to have a bit more variation. Like
Yeah. So that's just playing with the curves.
Yeah.
And so this is what I want to do later on, but right now I'm just blocking it up.
Love the
So
story.
we're also missing. So this is actually gonna fade to black into the quote,
Mhm.
and then fade back into this one.
So are we doing the?
So I need that done next sprint.
we're doing the hacking.
There's
Yes,
the
on
hacking,
screen.
like essentially, I don't have any of the UI stuff yet.
Yeah,
which
that's
needs
cool.
to be in
Making
there.
it bunnies.
Yeah.
Which
That's
is
why
sort
it's
of
all in the
like,
final
yeah.
section of the,
So I need some little animation
Yeah.
for this. I need it to fade out, go into the quote, and then fade back into this.
So what I'm keen to see for the next sprint, the goal is to have a kind of a 3/4 done trailer that just needs all of the little tiny tweaks that make the difference. That's what I want to see out of this. And then with the last 2 weeks that we've got, it'll be full-on focused improvements just to make it polish.
Yes.
So
I
we
thought
basically
that-
have to have it done a week in advance so we can get it on YouTube and prepare the video files and all that kind of stuff.
Because that
Yeah,
asked me
it's,
the like
Mad.
PNGs of like the quote and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I thought it would be a question of sliding them in, but apparently it isn't. So
We'll figure it
so
out.
yeah, I have to figure this out.
Just we can do a mash job. Just get it in, get the video going, and then.
Oh my god, you gotta pull up Instagram!
refactor. So that's the other thing we've got to do. In here, do we have music? Because you'll need to be talking with Shazam.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sound design and I think there's a music ticket over there as well.
Yeah, that's going to be really important because we don't have control over timelines there. Where have we got that? Sound design, music design brief. So,
Yep.
is that close to being ready, or do we have something we can send to him?
Well, I need to discuss it with you guys because you gave us this new a new version,
Yeah, so that can be.
which is like sort of like a completely different vibe than what we have now.
Yeah. Well, he mentioned that he's thinking about an acoustic version, instead of the electronica kind of vibe. But I wouldn't mind if you could go through the discussions and see what would sound best and how you can communicate that with him.
Yeah, 'cause
It's almost like
he
the
doesn't really like
the
the
original
two-
one
I
got
don't
sent-
really like this with the trailer. It's too
The new one?
crazy.
the new one.
Yeah, it feels
Can we
more
turn it
like
down and
action.
like get like
Oh, yeah, it's one of those.
Like this is compared to the very eerie kind of like creeping up on you, and this is like
This would take away from a lot of the sound effects we want to put in ourselves.
Yeah.
Like so.
But I think it's also if you want to hear the monologue, this is gonna have to be turned down so much that it's not.
Some of the men will take up the bottle.
What about a light on acoustic version?
I think
Without the heavy hits.
Well, the original sound
other
part for it was
acoustic
pretty
stuff
close.
sounds sort of not right with the mood. Like I was listening to them, and it's sort of like a happy kind of like guitar bit, and he's like going on about his spiral into depression.
Yeah.
It's just like it's like
Think about the elements. The songs are made up of layers of different parts. Right?
Yeah.
Think about which ones would go where. Have a discussion with him and figure out the best configuration. Then he'll make that for us. We'll pay him for it, and we put it in. And then what happens is at the end, he's going to look at our video and make tweaks for us. So it's about getting to the 90% point, and then at the end he'll do the final bits.
because some of these I can sort of see more into like a menu or something, but not really for the trailer.
Jesus fuck.
Also the way he's sending us stuff, is a bit weird. I assume it's because he's just separating
I actually
tracks.
asked that because later we could consider doing soundscapes. So like location-based music changes, just adding layers on. So we walk a little bit closer to the end goal, and a new layer of guitar comes on and starts playing. You walk away and it fades out, kind of thing.
Right.
Gives us more options, but ultimately we can build our own track out of that based on the exact needs that we have.
See, this, for example, for the trailer doesn't really make sense.
Not so much. This is more.
But I can.
theme song.
Yeah.
This is like main menu syntax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It's strange.
It's the
I can definitely see it for the menu, or like more. But for the trailer, I sort of.
You want something dark and eerie.
That is
Yeah.
what I think is the ongoing
So-
theme for the game, that particular song. So little bits of it will be strewn inside parts of the soundtrack, and at key points where the emotional point is relevant, we play that song as well.
Main spooky loop.
Yeah, I've got amazing.
Get footage of Maxime's hood off.
No! No!
I think this is yours, Dad.
Yeah, this is why I put mine in a folder, mate.
So, yeah, we'll just go on.
So damn.
So this is obviously the original lighting. This is before I got the new build, which, because GitHub broke. This is just I think it's my rock textures and my stalactite textures that I was trying to show off. There's a couple more. There's a couple better.
Our composers,
Listen to Dan.
So there's a couple better screenshots later on. Actually, this is just more to show them like in the environment. So the stalactites are a lot lighter at the moment, which again the TV color is not showing it the best. But so I was looking at stalactites in caves and stuff, and they tend to be a lot lighter than the rest of them, and that's pretty much what I was going for.
And that gradient is pretty nice that you got.
Yeah, it was actually kind of an accidental gradient, really. Like it's what I was going for, but in the level itself, they look a lot better. So if you go to the next one, although you definitely started with Rock Textures 6. So there's I think there's a bit of wall and there's the rocks in there as well. So all of the rocks kind of match up, and the walls as well match up with the same color scheme. They've all got that hand-painted look that I got the thumbs up for.
The rocks are pretty sick.
Just open up. Alright, that one will do. So there, at least you can see the stalactites in that one. So there's more of goes from the grey, same as the rocks, and then it kind of comes down into like a different colour.
So have all the rocks been done?
Yeah, so all the rocks, all the walls have been done. If you go look at the walls, next one, yeah. So they're all the walls as well. So they've got the actual, you can see them, they all match up. Now all the stalactites are done as well. So they all pretty much line up. And then Josh also did the ground as well. So if you go back to that screenshot you brought up, not that one, that one. One of them will do. Just go the really bright one. Oh, that'll do. Yeah, so the ground itself has pretty much the exact same detailing as the walls and the stalactites now, which is what we were going for. So it kind of feels like it all matches each other now. Because the original problem was the stalactites had way too much detail in comparison to everything else. So I kind of feel like they all match up now.
I feel like what we're missing now are just the small rocks.
The small rocks,
and
yeah.
some props from stuff being left behind.
Yes, we have we have a few small rocks as well. They just kind of need to litter it so it doesn't feel so all put together kind of thing. So is that your ground texture, Josh? Is that the screenshot? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I just got rid of the old cracked stuff that we had because it didn't really fit the painted kind of stuff.
Are we on your showcase now? Do you have
this
anything
is
else?
yeah, I've got a couple in there.
Just go to the first one and just click through them. And then when it comes up, just talk about it.
Sorry,
So that's the storyboard. So what's next?
So there's mine. Textures again.
Textures?
So this is just like, here we go. So the tire tracks, we wanted decals in there, and I didn't throw the normal maps up, but they're now normal maps, so we'll be able to like place them on the ground, and it'll look like we had tire tracks on the ground and stuff.
That's
so
gonna
it'll
make
kind
a
of
big
add to it.
Yeah.
We're gonna try and do, is it spline?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna try and like spline it so we have like, we'll have like longer tracks and shorter tracks, and they'll kind of look like actual tire tracks, not like just someone dropped a tire on the ground in one spot and then threw it over there as well. Like,
So is that work going on to the next sprint? Actually implementing the
yeah. So that's
shoes.
pretty much as soon as we can get GitHub working, the plan is to try and put them in. So we might
Cool.
do it ASAP.
Nice. All right. What's next?
So look, as you can see, like the stalactites themselves are like they're not really painted that light, but when it shows in the lighting, like they look really like, there's a really strong gradient you can see. So like go to the next one. So like that one is the one you saw before that looked actually really yellow. So like the lighting kind of helps with it as well.
Yeah.
It sort of like fakes the subsurface without actually having
that's it. So because if we're doing like realistic stalactites, we'd have like subsurface, so like light would shine through it and stuff. But like
It gets
to match the
thinner
art
and
style,
more translucent.
it kind of did it for us.
And the team can actually, make comments on here as well
Yeah.
if you see issues or see things we can improve. It's not just us.
I think the bit how the stalactite connect to the rocks is weird. But
Yeah,
I think that might just be once we
It's
have
just
some
placement,
occlusion
yeah.
or something.
Mm-hmm.
Is the shadows like at the top of it a bit weird? The selector?
I think it's because none of this is like baked. It's all dynamic lighting, and
So
so
the shadows coming off every single direction.
it needs to.
We can reposition all of this stuff to make it
Yeah,
look
that's
more accommodating.
right at the top of the next one. Is next sprint is to like fill the cave,
Nice.
and that'll be like moving them around and like making it look more like a cave and less like a yes we dug this hole and this is perfect.
Cool. Next up. Rock.
More rocks.
I like it.
So yeah, there's a quote. So at the start of the trailer, or not right at the start, a little bit in, you wanted the quote, so we just changed up the quote to the Richard Feynman quote,
I really like this one.
and that was I found I had like 10 fonts I was choosing from
There's
today,
some
and
pretty groovy stuff.
and then I brought them down to 2, and then the group decided on this one. So this is
one's
the favorite. Yeah.
Commercially
Yeah. So
usable font
license
without
free.
attribution.
Same
Cool.
website you got like most of the other ones from too. So the commercial free is good.
Cool.
No one gets sued for that. It's
Exactly.
more rocks.
All by the book.
Oh, so these are Josh's walls. So you made the walls.
Yeah.
And this is just like all the textures on top of those. Yeah, there you go. So that kind of makes it look like, if you go back to that one, there's
It's like they're glowing because
Yeah.
of that gradient.
What's going on there?
yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
one of the lights I'm actually
so-
piloted.
One way to do the lighting, the way I want to position the lights, right? I want to be able to just pilot them so I can see where they're projecting the light. And when I try to do that, I realized that all the lights were angled 90 degrees off to the side, and so I was just pointing the side of the lights to where I wanted.
So right now that light's pointing the
So the
Oh, yeah.
blueprints,
The rock.
so we turned the blueprint, which meant that all the lights in the level turned, and so I had to redo it. So this must be like an older
Yeah, this is
lighting setup.
Yeah.
Cool. What's up? Next.
Wow, that's bright.
That's pretty bright. I'd
So that
say
was-
walking through that would hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was yeah, I was trying to get a screenshot of like everything together. That's the best tunnel to show all of the objects together, but it looks like we're standing in the sun.
Middle of the desert.
Yeah.
Alright, what's next?
So it's a bit out of order actually. So if you go to the next one, I think go to
what's the next one?
Just go one more. Oh, no.
yeah, it's there. Go that one. So
I like this idea.
all right. So what I was trying to do was for the generator.
Yeah.
It's gonna obviously the generator is not gonna have like a high quality pixel screen. So I was going for like a Fallout terminal feel, in which like it would come on the computer. So this is I wouldn't say it's finished. It'll depend on how it looks.
Yeah.
But if you now go back to the other one,
Too loud.
so the actual animation itself will be kind of glitching between the two. So you've got the Truman Engineering is written the exact same way as the
Yeah,
obviously
that
it's the same font.
Yeah.
So we'll have some like in between shots of it kind of glitching between the letters just to make it look like it's being hacked. And I just tried to make it look like it was on really old, not old screen, but you know what I mean, like low res.
And can we do a few intermediary
Yeah,
frames of
yeah,
like
that was the-
speckles of pixels popping in and
Yeah,
out?
I was gonna have like the stars kind of awkwardly going in like the wrong spot
That
as
would be
well,
cool.
like
Yeah.
just
Yeah, that'd be cool.
yeah.
And then it loads, turns on, lights come on.
Hope no
Awesome.
Americans sue us for only having 21 stars on the flag.
There's only so much you can do with a heavier pixel screen.
That's it. Sorry, Americans. And another decal we've got is I made a normal map out of the footprints as well. So same deal. This is based on the John's hazmat suit, assuming that like most of the hazmat suits the government are giving them would be pretty much the exact same.
Exactly. the
So
same.
yeah, so that's we'll be able to make those like decals in the ground, so we'll have like footprints everywhere to show that like a lot of people have been in this cave.
So as normal maps, will they simply produce an indentation?
Yeah, that's the plan. Is it? That's what I'm
Yeah.
assuming is going to happen.
We'll see when we give it a shot.
We'll give it a whirl. Yeah.
So is this a new John?
Yeah, so
Kenny, get on the couch, mate.
fine.
Custom cap.
So basically, yeah, if you just go for it, that's the old John. If you go back, that is the newer one where we shaped the jaw a bit further. Because if go right again. Yeah, see, compare that one to the other one.
Compared to pair.
Jaw was a bit.
So do we have a new front on?
Yeah. The front one
I
looks
think-
pretty ugly.
Mhm.
Kind of that one.
Is that the
That's the
old?
newer one. That's the older one. You can tell because the hair's not positioned properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there a screenshot of the new face front end?
That's the best I can do with good light.
Oh, that's fair enough.
But yeah, I also did I reworked the textures, so I got the eyebrows darkened, like you asked. More blood in his face, and like I had to spread it out evenly, just like through the clothes as well.
Did you keep a version that is without blood?
Oh yeah.
Cool,
I
alright.
separated.
So I'm thinking maybe the blood needs to be a bit more paint stroke. Because right now it just looks like he has a very sunburnt cheek, like
Yeah.
a chin kind of area.
Yeah.
But I think we're very close.
Yeah. Cool.
And I like the way his face is looking a bit better than it was.
John looks
Yeah.
a million times better.
Yeah.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
T-Bone's doing.
Yeah. The hair that also that showcases the hair a bit. That's a close up. You go to the next one. Right.
Uh-oh.
I can't really see it there. But like what I did with the textures as well is because what I discussed with Dan was that the hazmat suits and the textures that the suits he was wearing
Oh,
was a
yeah.
bit too detailed.
So just based on like Kenny was looking at, like based on like the new textures we have in, it felt like the new like the old hazmat suit, so it was like too detailed. So he emulated the same texture, just with a little less.
But so what I did was I got the old texture, got the same colors, but like I painted over it, so it definitely it reduces more of that stroke feeling where it has just like too much on the eye on the suits and that.
So you can't really see it too well in this lighting, but like there's definitely he put grunge along like the crotch and like the legs as well,
Yeah.
and the footprint is the same.
So this isn't in Unreal, is it?
Yeah, but it's my test scene, so it's not actually.
So I reckon like probably have to reduce the roughness.
Yeah, I think they're like, it was just like old testing.
It's
so.
very shiny at the moment.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Nice work, man. Really hard work you've been putting in for that.
Yeah, and that's just the
John's
water
kind of
planes as
cool.
well that I did. So it took a while, but just lots of fiddling around with the material engine.
You saw it a lot better in Maxine's shot too.
Yeah.
Like it looks more like water in the video.
Yeah, it looks really good.
It used to be like really trickly and like stringy.
Like two
Like,
drops
it's
or
too
so.
thin, and now
Dropping?
it's got a bit more thickness to it.
It looks like you could actually dig out an entire cave.
Yeah,
system.
that was the thought process he had.
Yeah. All right. What else you got for me?
Alright, so this is some of the cave fixes I did. So with some of the stalactites, we rotated them around so you can see like any weird seams or anything like that. That was basically it for that. That's all I really did for that one. So yeah, the ground texture. So on some of the other ones, go out of that.
Out of that.
Yeah, and then go to the rock textures, and you can see the like black lines in the ground.
Yeah.
So when I first got rid of the texture left that black line. So if you go back to that other image, next one. Yeah, Wayne cleaned up all the black lines and made it look better.
Nice.
Yep, next. So yeah, new beaker with like hand painted. I still need to do a few things to it because
Maybe a little bit more translucency.
yeah, I gotta do the translucency and also for some reason Blender. Its scale is like.
Is that
way
hand
up.
drawn?
Yeah, it's hand drawn.
Like it.
Yeah.
Nice.
They're always shit, like on the science figures. Remember in school, they always look tacky, the writing and stuff. It doesn't look like they're actually hand drawn in the factory.
Yeah. And so yeah, I went and I haven't pushed that yet because of the Reaper stuff, but yeah, I went and laid that out and reduced them so that way it's a lot better on performance.
Cool.
Yeah, good.
I reckon we do need to put some straggler rocks in,
Yeah.
the ones that
Yeah.
have fallen over and stuff.
You can probably do a little bit.
And maybe
I'll combine.
we need to figure out how to do this so it doesn't look so uniform as well. So that was always a challenge.
Does look pretty.
Otherwise,
Oh, yeah.
that looks awesome.
Yeah.
Nice work.
I think that's
Probably saved a lot of draw
Textures
costs.
too.
oh yeah, he's textured them.
Cool.
We got no photos of them though.
Yeah.
That's okay. All right. What else you got?
Oh, that's Maxime's
Sub-levels.
pride and joy.
Yeah, discovering about sub-levels and being able to all work on the same level at the same time now.
Big deal.
Yeah. I know, it's totally founded by complete accident. I was looking at a tutorial about the sequencer, and this dude's like, yeah, so by the way, this is what I do when I work with my team. And I was like, oh my god! What? Went straight to the documentation. I'm like, what are sub-levels?
Got home
Yeah.
after I dropped him off. As soon as I got home, it was like, guys, look at this. I was like,
Yeah, I put it on Facebook and stuff. I was like, guys,
Cool.
check this out.
All right. So should we go to the wall? Prove some stuff.
Yeah.
To the wall.
It's something to say.
Maxime. I thought Max was the focus.
You
Maybe
do
he
it,
should.
Dan.
Maybe he should close us out.
Just let him go on a rant about.
I know
Well,
speak
Maxime
English.
close us out.
I know speak English. Long time ago.
Just
That was Dev Knight Showcase.
Probably because
9 or 10, like Josh.
Probably got the whole way.
Cheers, man.
Sorry.